body farm, what it is, and what the students learn from it?
The Body Farm is our way of teaching students about death investigation and the principles of crime scene assessment in an age-appropriate way. Clearly, we're not going to use real human bodies for our Body Farm, so we use a whole chicken. I guarantee you, you'll never see chicken the same, and our students certainly won't. But the purpose of the Body Farm is to give them an idea about the decompositional changes that happen to a body when it is exposed to certain environments. So there is temperature, there's heat, this good old South Carolina heat, and how fast a body can break down in that heat. Most people have no idea that you can become completely skeletonized within a 7-day time period. And so we show the students that progress. We also show them beginning principles of forensic entomology and how we can use bugs to determine time of death.
Earlier I heard you tell the students like safety first, and then I forgot the next one, but could you go through those steps for us?
So students must learn that when you're going onto a crime scene or any scene where there's a body present, that the first rule of any scene is safety. And this doesn't matter whether you work in law enforcement, whether you're a CSI deputy, or whether you're with the coroner's office, EMS even. The first rule of any scene is safety. The second is to try to prevent contamination. You don't want to introduce anything into the scene that could contaminate that scene, either from your footsteps or even your sweat. You want to be sure that you're not contaminating that scene. So you want to do as little in that space as possible, especially once you've realized that the person is actually deceased. For our students, they learn the role of the coroner's office when they go onto a scene and what principles we must follow in order to prevent contamination, and how we work collaboratively with law enforcement to try to gather evidence but to preserve that scene as much as possible.
What are some of the skills that the students are actually using and or learning out here, well, beyond just, how to be a coroner?
Critical thinking is the biggest skill that these students will learn. Getting them to not only see what is in front of them, but to think beyond that, to think beyond what is presented right in front of you. Yesterday they did a crime scene interpretation, and all of them noticed the exact same things, and they were all distracted by all of the same things. But once we talked through the scene and got them to think about things from a different perspective, they realized all of the pieces of the puzzle that must be put together in order to solve cause of death and manner of death for a situation.
Can you tell us what this does for the community, the impact, especially with students having exposure to a program like this, especially Richland 1 students and even students across the state?
So when you're in high school, everyone asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And we hear the traditional things like lawyer, doctor, maybe I want to be an entrepreneur, but most people don't say, I want to be a coroner, or I want to be an investigator, or I want to work in forensic entomology, because those are not career paths that are taught in our school system. This program is designed to teach our youth and our community about non-traditional career fields. We need police officers, we need investigators, we need critical thinkers that work in forensic science to be able to help solve crimes, to prosecute cases. And so we teach them that there are multiple fields that could be related to the coroner's office or death adjacent that they could probably pursue if given the exposure.
With the turnout of the students, do you expect to continue the program?
Absolutely. This is our 4th year, and we are so excited to be able to offer this program with the help of sponsors like Founders Federal Credit Union, who donated $5,000 so that we could provide the students with scrubs and a uniform that they could wear. They provided tweezers for them to be able to pick up the little bugs and the larvae that will show up probably by Friday on their specimens. So we are grateful for the sponsors and the supporters in our community, because they understand that you don't just happen upon this type of career. You have to have exposure at some point, and that's what we're providing here. And so the community has been super supportive, and our program has gone from 15 students to this year being 45. So we definitely see a growth and an interest in true crime and an investigative technique, and we're happy to be able to provide that to the students.
This has to be personal for you. There's a lot of cost barrier involved with this. Given your own background and your, being able to provide that free cost and the sponsors. Can you talk a bit about that? And obviously for
Richland 1 students, it's notorious that they come from lower income households. They will bring a sports camp, but they won't bring a STEM camp. And so I want it to be the change that I wanted to see in the world. although I didn't grow up in Richland County and in South Carolina, I grew up in the foster care system as a ward of the state in Florida. And I wish that there would have been a program like this for my nerdy little self who loved science, who loved anatomy, who loved dissection, but there seemed to be no path for me. If you weren't good at holding a football or throwing a basketball, I'm sure that goes other way, go sports. If you weren't good at sports, you were not included. Everything seemed to be centered around athletics. I wanted something in our community for our students that would expose them to STEM in a totally different way. This is hands-on, it's interactive, and these students know by the end of this program if this is something that they want to pursue. To be able to start this program with about 15 students, and we now have 3 students who are in college pursuing their dream of forensics and chemistry and science, it just warms my heart, and I'm grateful that I'm able to provide this type of program.
And just briefly, I guess at least for me, just kind of run through just really quickly what the students will kind of be doing, especially what we saw out here today.
So the students will start with crime scene investigation. They have to record a video of their entire experience. That's the technology piece. We have experts in videography, photography, social media, content creation that will come and speak to them so that it can help them round out their experience. They will touch every type of science, from physical science to, guys, physics, biology, chemistry, toxicology, anatomy. Today they're holding real human organs in their hands and learning about disease processes and what looks normal and what looks abnormal. They will touch almost every single field of science in these 2 weeks.
And just to clarify real quick, this is not just for Richland 1 students, it's Richland 1, Richland 2, and all of our schools across Richland County, correct?
So this program is designed for students who are in Richland County. We had a preference for students who are from Richland 1 simply because they do not have the types of programs that I would like to see, and so we created that. But any student can come. We've had students as far away as North Carolina, even New York, who have expressed interest, and they're saying, can you please do a traveling program and bring it to our state? We're focused right now on South Carolina. This is a historical program. It's the first of its kind in the entire state, and we're looking to just break barriers into this field and provide students with just an enriched experience that is well-rounded and that allows them to see non-traditional career paths that they wouldn't normally see.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you.